guys, it's Bro You Whack, and surprisingly, there's been a ton of negativity around Season 12. And while I'll admit that Season 12 is not the best season, we're definitely going to talk about everything that came out today, I strongly do feel like as time goes on, Overwatch 2 seasons continue to get better and better, even though they might not be the most fantastic seasons. I mean, we continue to just improve ever since like the worst season back in Season 8. But especially ever since Overwatch 1 first shut down, because we're getting almost everything that we have ever wanted. But you see, that's where Season 12 becomes a little bit controversial, because it comes with a brand new hero, it comes with brand new maps, it comes with a new game mode, but it also comes with somewhat of a bad hero, somewhat of bad hero changes, and also a lot of bad skins. So let's talk about Season 12, what they got right, but also what they got wrong. And it all starts with a brand new hero, Juno, what is anticipated to be the new cover art girl for Overwatch 2, replacing Kiriko. She was announced late last year, had a trial period for a couple of days during Season 11, and then was released to a very surprising amount of changes. You see, during those couple of days that Juno was playable in Season 11, she was perfect. I truly do feel like she was the most balanced hero, but Blizzard felt the opposite of that and decided to make a lot of changes, a lot of nerfs, need I remind you. Her healing was very mediocre, her damage was negligible, and her torpedoes were so extremely slow to the point where she was basically just a worse Lucio. So that excitement was subsided to play this extremely cute character, and it was subsided even more once you realized that she only came with 4 rare skins, which was just another disappointing part about Season 12. But in a surprising twist of events, Blizzard decided to make some relatively quick changes to not only Juno, but Iliari and Tracer, where they reduced the cooldown to her glide boost, but the Medi Blaster got a damage increase, increasing each bullet from 7 to 8. Blizzard definitely made the experience of playing Juno a whole lot better, which is very important for Juno because I feel like she adds that fun factor back into playing support. You know, Juno kind of reminds me of when Kiriko first released, not only because they're both adorable characters that can attract a lot of people to play support, but she's also this very balanced support character that isn't just a mindless heal bot, but isn't someone like Zenyatta that you just want to get DPS off. She has high mobility, which makes controlling this character a lot of fun, but a hero kit that can really help you manage the weaker part about playing Juno, which is getting doved, not having a self-healing ability like other supports. Once again, just furthering that gap from bad Juno mains to great Juno mains to allow yourself to escape with those high mobility cooldowns and also support the team at the same time. But what I love most about Juno is simply her Medi Blaster, because this is how you do damage and how you do healing. If you have bad aim, you're not going to be doing damage or healing, so you're going to be a bad Juno main. But even if you have decent aim, you got to manage that fall off with the damage and the healing, something that we don't really see with supports, which is why it's important to have a little bit higher damage, which is what we're getting with these patch notes, and I would even say a little bit higher healing. So if they were just to buff the healing a little bit more at the mid-season patch for Juno, I think that would put Juno back in that perfect state that we once saw her in during that trial period. But that same thing can be said for the other heroes in the Overwatch 2 hero roster, because the biggest frustration that so many people had with Season 12 is with the patch notes. Why did they nerf the heroes that they did? Why did they bring down the health for so many characters? Why is Hanzo still F tier? And trust me, you don't want to hear my answer as a Hall of Fame Hanzo hater, but I understand the frustration, but also the confusion with not only just the state of Hanzo, but just more or less the state of Overwatch heroes. Like, if I could just show you a general representation of the confusion with just one single comparison, look at the damage that Lucio, a support character, is able to do, and then look at the damage that Genji does, a DPS character. Why does Lucio do more damage than Genji? And look, I'm not trying to say that Lucio shouldn't do that amount of damage. What I'm trying to say here is it just seems very confusing the way that they go about nerfing and buffing heroes. Like, the nerf that they gave D.Va was basically just a slap on the wrist. It's not going to do anything. The rework that they gave Kiriko makes her mathematically more powerful because she does more damage. And even though I already laughed at the fact that Hanzo is a terrible hero, the fact that they made him worse, decreasing his health to 225, it just makes me wonder, it's like what made them want to do this, other than the fact that in Hanzo 1v1s, now you can one-shot one-shot headshot him now. I can go on and on and on talking about these changes, but I already did in my video where I look at the Season 12 hero changes. There's so many other things that I want to highlight in Season 12, but just know this is probably the lowest part about Season 12 and why people hate it. But getting back on a higher note, the one thing that people love about Season 12, which is kind of surprising, is the new game mode Clash and 2 new maps, Hanaoka and Throne of Anubis. And I say this is surprising because most of the time, Overwatch players hate new game modes, probably just because they're still stuck in the past and they want to see 2CP come back in one way, shape, or another. But luckily, it is coming back in one way, shape, or another with the redesigned maps with Hanaoka and Throne of Anubis. Now, I already talked about Hanaoka when it first came out during its trial period, but Throne of Anubis, oh my god, is this just a beautiful map or what? It takes the already made 2CP map at Temple of Anubis and redesigns it in a non-linear format compared to Hanaoka that is a lot more linear, a lot more flatter. So we all can agree that the maps are absolutely stunning, but I think another reason why people are loving the maps is because of how it's actually played. And I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely love the game mode Clash. And I think it's due to the fact that I feel like at any point, I have a fair shot of actually winning the game, whether the enemy team captured the first point, the second point, the third point, or even if they have 4 captured points, I still feel like we can reverse sweep, which is often the time what happens. It always gives a fair advantage throughout the whole duration of the game to the team that is losing, but not too much of an unfair advantage to where the better team is set up to win. And that's what I love about Clash, is that if you do manage to win during the first 3 points, that team was already gonna win no matter what. So let's just get the game over with and let's move on. But if it's an even team fight, even if the team steamrolls the first 2 points, well, you have that point A or E right there, right next to your spawn. You should always be able to capture that. If you don't, once again, you just suck. But then you get the momentum going, and it's that momentum that really drives this possible reverse sweep. But what makes it even more exciting is when both teams get 4 points and you're fighting after point C. And that excitement is really what I think a lot of people thought that they experienced in 2CP, but in a much more fairer fashion. It's not like you're on an attacking side or a defensive side where you have to think of what characters to play or even how fast the character is, like when you're on Flashpoint and you have to run back to the point. Every single time you have an even fight, every single time you can play any character, no matter if they're fast or slow. That's why I love Clash, and that's why I'm excited to see other 2CP maps get redesigned into Clash maps, because we need more for this mode, because it seems like a lot of people enjoy it. I mean, it's literally just Control times 5, and people absolutely love that game mode. But the next thing that I normally reserve at the beginning of these types of videos are the skins. I'm gonna make a separate video talking about the Season 12 skins and how I don't really like the direction that skins are going down, because the 2 things I will say is when you look at the amount of Egyptian mythology themed skins and the amount of recolors, it's night and day. There's so much more recolors, even more polar skins than there are Egyptian mythology. And on top of that, the theme skins that we did get, specifically the mythic skin, is one that has also been met with a lot of controversy. Like, why is there only 1 weapon skin for this mythic skin, but we're getting a mythic weapon for Ana, who has already gotten a mythic skin? Shouldn't that time have been used to develop a second weapon for Reaper rather than just having minimal armor set changes? Like no, like, these are mythic weapons. These are supposed to be the better out of legendaries, and it just didn't really feel like that with Reaper. Well, you can say that the excitement is going to come from the World of Warcraft collab later on in September. I would say that's also another weaker part about this season, is the collaboration. Now, while the collaboration between WoW and Overwatch makes sense because Blizzard made both of these games, you have to think about it. A lot of Overwatch players don't care about World of Warcraft because Overwatch is also on console. Those console players can't even play WoW even if they tried, so the point of the collaboration is kind of counterintuitive because, well, the collab is not really gonna do anything, at least in the short future. But that's not to say that the WoW collab is gonna be bad. I mean, just looking at what we've already seen with the Lich King Reinhardt sword, or I'm assuming that's a Reinhardt sword, and also this fantastic Widowmaker skin inspired by the World of Warcraft universe, it's gonna be really cool. I mean, at first I thought it was just gonna be a legendary weapon collab, but it looks like we're gonna get at least multiple skins. I just think that this is probably gonna be one of the least anticipated collabs in the Overwatch universe. But then there was other little things that weren't really too much of a focus in Season 12, like the rank reset, even though that might seem like a big deal. We've already seen this before, and this is going to be something that we see every single 6 months, so it's whatever. You're going to rank kind of near where you ended in Season 11. Then there was also spawn changes that some people really didn't like. They hate the group respawn system, and they just want them to go back to kind of normal respawn systems. And there was also Hero Mastery, which I always like that they bring Hero Mastery courses to heroes, but I feel like you only really care about the new Hero Mastery courses if it's for your favorite character or for your main. And for Zarya and Pharah, when it comes to Pharah, that can seem fun because she has high mobility, but Zarya, it's another slow character. You can't really do much with Zarya. It's just kind of whatever. So overall, when it comes to this season, I think a lot of people just view it as like a downgrade compared to like Season 11, especially Season 10 and 9 when it comes to every aspect. The skins, the hero, not so much the game mode, but I think a lot of people would have loved maybe a limited time mode, similar to like Prop Hunt from Season 5 and Mirror Watch from Season 10, stuff like that. But we did get a new core game mode, so I guess that's excusable. But when it comes to this season, if I had to give it a rating, I would say it's like a 6 out of 10. There was a lot of big misses with the season that I hope that they don't continue forward in Season 13, and especially in Season 14 with the brand new hero and the hero changes. But let me know what you think about Season 12. Do you think it was awful? Do you think it was the greatest season of all time? And what they could do better? And until next time, I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. More Overwatch 2 videos to come, and bye.